The number one question I get from anyone who just finds the game or has been around the block once or twice is, Quinny, if you started playing Sorare today, what competitions would you play? What cards would you buy? Where's the best place for a new player or a smaller player on a budget to get started so they can actually go on and win money, win cards, win shirts, win match tickets, whatever it is you're playing Sorare for? In the video today, we'll be doing our 10th edition of If I Started Playing Sorare Today. This is a video, a playlist, a series that I always have a lot of fun adding to because it allows us to look at Sorare for what it is right here, right now. And for anyone that is just picking up the game for the first time or still cutting their teeth and still kind of finding their way in it, the advantages of starting to play the game today, as well as the beginner mistakes that we all want to avoid. And before we get into the video, that probably brings me to the first one. Sorare themselves are massive fans of the content here at the channel because we've helped thousands of people get up and playing Sorare, understand the game a bit better, and help them avoid beginner mistakes. And Sorare have gave me a special link. So if you're finding the channel or the game for the first time, there's a link down here below that once you've bought 5 cards from Instant Buy or from auction, Sorare will give you a £50, euro, dollar, whatever your currency is, credit to go and buy more cards into the market as well. T's and C's apply. You'll find all of that in the description of the video down below, as well as in the pinned comment. If you get stuck or if you need any help, jump into the comment section and I'll respond and I'll come in there and help you out. And for those of you that are brand new, at the end of this video and in the description down below, I've linked the new to Sorare Start Here playlist that really does walk you through all the basic mechanics, the lay of the land of the game, and everything else that you'll need to understand. It might not be too obvious if you click around the game, you know, just on the platform and from listening to this video. So if you need to know more about the scoring matrix, how the cards work, and you know, all that other stuff, in the description down below, and we'll put it on screen at the end of this video. At any point, if you laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, as well as general world football content. And yeah, get into the comment section if you get stuck. But otherwise, let me know if you started Sorare today. If you could go back in time and do it all again, what would your top tip be for any beginners, any new players out there, so that anyone that is catching this video, if you are in the comment section, you can listen to me and you can hear from some of the fantastic managers in the community that we've got here on the channel. And yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, this is genuinely 1000% the best time to be finding and picking up Sorare today for the very first time, because Sorare put so much work and effort into the game over the last 2 years to make it as user-friendly, to make it as easy to pick up and play as absolutely possible. One of the main things that has held it back over the last couple of years is the cost of entry, you know, how much cards cost to actually get in and play. And now they've fixed so many of those problems that cards are much more affordable now, that are much easier to get your hands on. But more importantly than that, the number one thing I'd be doing if I started today is they've got a genuine free-to-play mode that anyone can pick up and play, that genuinely teaches you how to play the game, gets you a taste for what it takes to win in Sorare. And like I said, it is completely free to play. And in this mode, you can win cards, you can win jerseys, you can win tickets, there's all sorts of stuff going on, and I'm talking about Sorare Rivals. Sorare Rivals is the free-to-play fantasy game where basically per fixture, you can go in and play your friends, you can challenge the arena, which is where you win all of the good prizes for any of the games in world football. You don't need to buy any Sorare cards, you don't need to know anything about it. All you need to do is click on that link and open your account, and for any game that's on the TV that you can find in the Rivals, you know, arena, which is basically every game in world football, then you can pick your ultimate 5-a-side team. You get to pick a tactic alongside it, and you can take on, like I said earlier, friends or other players on Sorare. If you do play the arena and take on a random challenger who will be around the same level as yourself, then you're in the mix to win cards and boxes and all that other good stuff that comes along with it. But the thing that I love about this is that it is completely free to play, and you can watch it in real time with whatever game it is you're watching, with whatever team it is you support. You can buy cards and add them into this as well and see a bit of progress coming through on maybe your Rivals game before you take it into the genuine like SO5 Sorare game arena for money and all the big prizes that they put on there. Because this is the free to play mode, it's, you know, less intense as it were. You know, you're not like going up for thousands of pounds and VIP experiences and all the rest of it. It's something you can forget about it once in a while. You can pick up and play when you like, and it's not that terribly taxing. And because you can't play it for free, it's a real great try before you buy on Sorare in general. So I think for anyone, especially people who are newer, this is something that I would be leaning into more and more, because one of the main things that separates the good and the great of Sorare managers from everyone else is that ability to pick the winning five, to pick a winning lineup. And when you watch a game, when you're picking choices from two teams essentially that are playing each other, you do see really what it does take. And even if you've been playing Sorare for a while, this is the number one way that I scout players now on Sorare. Guys that, will they start? Do they start? When I'm watching them play, you know, how are they matrix friendly? And are they the sort of player, price-wise, style-wise, whatever it is, I could add into my club at a nominal price before they really pop and explode and show up on the scene. So whether you are brand new or been around the block once or twice, for me, rivals is the number one thing I would be focusing on more and more if I started playing Sorare today. Now, when it comes to actually building your club and actually, you know, making a team, trying to be competitive on the leaderboard, no matter where you're going to play with limited cards, you know, the budget ones or the rares or the super rares, which are a bit more expensive, or even the uniques if you're a high roller and you get money coming out your backside everywhere, because it's world football that's on this. We've got the Premier League, Bundesliga, and La Liga, all the way to MLS, Argentina, Brazil, Korea, Japan, and everything else in between, really. It's very easy to get drowned under the volume of choice, the amount of different players and different options you have for competitions and leagues in world football. And for me, if I started playing Sorare today, I would be ironing my focus in on 3 clubs. You probably support a team already, and that's going to be your number one club. There might be another team in maybe Germany or Spain or something like that, or England, depending on where you're at, Scotland perhaps, that you wouldn't say you're a fan of, but you've supported or you cheer on quite often, and you know a little bit about a few of the players, you know how they're kind of going. And then team number 3 is what I call a Sorare team. So many Sorare scouts and managers from all over the world come into this game supporting Celtic and this team and that team and whatever, and before you know it, they fall in love with a team from Japan or Germany or Spain or whatever it might be. And this game does that to you. You will be exposed to a little bit more football, or a lot more football than you're normally used to. And because of the way the game works and card availability and a few other things, almost every Sorare manager does get sucked into a new club that they hadn't really followed or paid attention to before. So I would have that firmly at the front of my mind coming into this. Yeah, I'm a Celtic supporter, so I'm going to be buying Celtic cards. And me personally, for Team 2, I back and follow quite a lot of different clubs in world football. So it's kind of take your pick of the litter. Who's the best value? Who's got a good kind of roster of players that maybe they transfer around a few different places, gives you different options for your team. And for my third team, you know, I've been playing this game for 4 or 5 seasons now at this point. So there's a lot of different clubs across world football. In MLS with New York, Girona in Spain, Sociedad. There's a lot of different clubs that I've really enjoyed kind of clicking into and following over the last couple of years. So it's hard for me to pick on one. But as you play the game more and more, this will kind of grow for you. But when you're starting out and when you're first getting your club together, your strategy, your tactics or whatever, I would try and focus in on 3 clubs. Ideally, if they can be in the same Sorare region, Champion Europe being the top 5 leagues in European football, and then Contender and Challenger being a bit of a pick and mix of everything else. I would look to try and get myself into a single region if possible. If not, no big shakes. Because intel, having that sniff of the manager doesn't like this guy or this guy always plays, these little insights and little feelings of information that aren't really readily available in the kind of news cycle before games and all that kind of stuff is the difference between some players, some managers on Sorare who can make fantastic calls on lineups and always, get it right or get it right more often than not. Whereas when you do just buy players from teams and clubs that you don't really follow too much, you're not that close to, you're going to get random things happen that you didn't know were possible, didn't know that were likely, and that just always results in a really bad experience. So the second thing I would definitely be doing if I started Sorare today is really focusing on clubs that I know and I'm close to and I want to see win. And when it comes to cards and players, this is really the thing a lot of people are getting at when they come to me and say, if you started today, Quinny, what goalkeeper would you buy? What guy here would you buy? What divisions would you play? That kind of thing. And it always boils down to me to a couple of things. Of course, your budget is going to dictate the quality of player, the amount of players that you're going to pick up early on or throughout your Sorare career and journey. But the 2 elements that everyone kind of overlooks or doesn't give the same attention or treatment to that they really should is number 1, the goalkeeper. Now, goalkeepers in world football come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them play week in, week out. Some of them are on the bench. Maybe they'll get a shot. Maybe some will go on loan. all sorts of different things happen. And goalkeeper, because it's five-a-side fantasy football and you need a keeper in there, it's one of the positions that people overlook so often, and they'll get a guy that is maybe a fiver cheaper than the other guy, but the difference in quality can be way more than the actual price point is. So when it comes to goalkeepers, I don't like to compromise. I don't like to get guys that I'm iffy about. I want to get guys that I really believe this guy is a genuinely good goalkeeper, because goalkeepers will let you down. They do concede goals. They do bring in crap scores once in a while, and that is just part of the, live by the sword, die by the sword, as it were, with the goalkeepers. But I think if you stretch the extra couple of quid to get the guy you actually want, then when the bad score comes in, you can deal with it a bit easier. And number two, you'll maybe get more better scores than the cheaper guy does. So goalkeeper number one is a position that I would not be making compromises on. And the second thing is, it can be any position really, but when you're building your first team, when you're getting your club up and running, the one thing I see so many people miss, overlook, not give the right attention to is, who is the captain of this team? Because so rare is fantasy football and the scores are based on 0 to 100, you really need a captain that is going to be the top scoring player in your lineup 8 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, if they can be that good and that stellar, and it's not just that everyone else is crap in the team. And because of that, I'm buying a goalkeeper first of all, and then the second thing I'm going to go and buy is a captain quality player, whether it be a striker, midfielder, defender, it doesn't matter. Because guys that aren't in that level of being top players in the club, there's lots of options at very similar price points that you can pick up later on. You can deal with that problem a little bit closer to the season starting again, or you buy a guy for a tenner and he gets injured, you need to replace him with a guy that's 12 quid or something. These things are normally a lot easier to do, whereas goalkeepers that, could be 70 quid, 100 quid for a rare, for example, or a captain that might be £150. If you don't have them, or if you have them and they break down, they're harder to replace later on, as it were. And because so many people open their account and they say, right, I'm going to put a couple of quid in the now and go and build a team, most people try and just get a team for whatever their budget is, whereas you really should take your time a little bit longer and acquire the guys one at a time. Be a real headhunter, be a real scout, a real director of football, because that is a big flavour of the game, a big part of it that I really enjoy. And again, I'm not compromising on goalkeeper, and I'm not compromising on captain quality. I need one of them in. And if you're a Premier League fan, you're in luck, because I recently did a video, the ultimate Premier League fantasy lineup to build. And this is a team that I've built with the beginner auction credit in mind. So you can exploit that. You can use it to your advantage. Build a quality team as cheaply as possible, and then use that market credit to go and get captain quality players. And it's definitely one of the videos I had the most fun making. And everyone that's watched it has said, wow, Quinny, that is an amazing effort. And that's a great way to build your first lineup. I'll put that on screen now, over here, as well as all the beginner content I promised you at the beginning of the video. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one.